Welcome to T-Bone Speaks with Dr. Tarun Agarwal, where our goal is to change the way you practice dentistry by helping you achieve clinical, financial, and personal balance. Now, here's your host, T-Bone.
Oh my God.
He's back.
Holy smokes. This week on the T-Bone Speaks podcast, we are going to dive into the last few weeks in my office.
T-Bone has been recovering from a sleepy T-Bone.
I'm recovering. Holy smokes. You can't wait to hear what we're going to talk about this week. So let me turn it over to Meredith, and she's going to give you the 3D Dentist's update.
Well, before we get started, I do have a review for this week. So if you haven't left us a review, or if you have another fake account, you can leave us one on that one too. So this is 5 stars.
Is that called catfishing?
No. That's when you post pictures and you don't look like the picture that
Is
you
it
are.
Ghosting?
No, ghosting's when you just don't respond.
Just whatever. Clearly, I don't know. Just go back to what you're doing.
So 5 stars, highly recommend. One of the best podcasts in dentistry to listen to. Great advice that has been very beneficial to my everyday practice. I have been to a couple of their CE courses as well. Ooh. Hashtag 3D dentist. He didn't put that, but money well spent. T-Bone is one of the people I highly respect in dentistry. He knows how to run the dental world and shares it with others freely.
You may not believe that after this week's episode. Oh my God. So Meredith, what are we going to talk about this week? Anything else?
So,
we got any classes that we want to promote while we're at it?
Well, we have a couple good ones coming up.
How about this? Just go to 3d-dentist.com. Please support us. We're having a good year despite COVID, but we want to do better. Yeah. And please, actually, you know what? After these last 2 weeks, I need you to come to 3D Dentist
and hang out with us.
So I can get out of the office, for God's sakes.
Get out of this funk. So we have oral sedation November 6th and 7th. And we have 3D printing December 11th and 12th or something like that.
We're going to do sleep implementation, which is live in person is sold out, but
we'll
the
do
live
a live stream version of that.
We'll do a live stream of that.
And then there's always the online course you can just do on your own time if you'd like that as well.
Yeah, we'd love to sell you that.
So T-Bone went to a sedation course, IV sedation.
Which we talked about last week.
Yeah. And he was very tired. I mean, that was 5 days of 12-hour days,
It was 4 days of 12-hour days.
Yeah. Okay. So he gets back Sunday and he texts me and says, I can't work out in the morning. You know, we go work out every morning 3-4 times a week.
Yeah,
every morning.
I was doing great.
We were doing really good.
I've missed the last 3 weeks,
and
though.
And then 2.
No, 3, because the week of sedation.
Oh, right. You were
I
gone.
missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says, I have to be at the office at 6:45. And I'm like, okay. All right, I'll meet you there. And I didn't realize that, I put 2 and 2 together that Dr. Fizo was going to be out.
Yeah. And then it turned into 2 weeks of being out.
Yeah, not COVID.
No.
Family issues.
Just family issues, just not feeling great, but whatever. But not COVID. We tested him twice.
Right. So you put 2 and 2 together, ended up being 2 weeks.
Yeah, man.
And you really realize how that associate is, and you preach on getting an associate and getting an associate. Do you wonder how these people do it without one?
Man, oh man. But look, at the end of the day, we're going to get into this, and I'm going to rant a little bit. I want to share. You know, I want you guys to feel good about yourself. Understand that, you know, I have plenty of problems myself. But in the end, these are all rich people problems. And
cranky. Somebody was cranky.
These are rich dentist problems, right? Or first world problems.
Yeah, first world problems.
First world dentistry problems is probably what this is.
So 2 weeks of solo doctor dentistry, but you kind of your schedule wasn't prepared for a solo.
Dude, it wasn't my.
We'll talk about your schedule when we get there.
None of it was prepared.
So what did you learn about yourself in this 2 weeks?
Oh my God, that I have become a diva.
You've been pampered.
100%.
And then I was gone the second week, so I don't even know if anyone fed you, gave you water.
No, they
I hope so. I texted them, like, checking on you, asking, did anybody feed him today? I'm in Key West, and I'm like, did anybody feed T-Bone today?
They're going to think I'm helpless. They're going to think I'm like a legit diva where I walk around and people have to hand me stuff. I'm just a diva.
It's not. We just want to make sure. You just won't eat, and we just want to make sure you eat
nobody
so you're
believes
not cranky.
that's seen me.
I know.
They won't believe that. No.
But you get in the mode when you're working, and you don't even
And then I get hangry.
Yeah. And we have to deal with it. So we choose to feed you.
Yeah.
So we don't have to deal with it.
Well, listen, let's talk about this food issue real quick. It is all my mom's fault. Okay.
Well, we know that, but
No, but
did they feed you good food or bad food? That's what
whatever
I'm
came.
concerned about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bad
But
food.
it's all my mom's fault.
Okay.
Okay. My food issues are my mom's
Okay.
fault.
All right.
Number one, my mom spoiled me.
Okay.
She made me only what I wanted to eat. Never
Right.
made me eat anything I didn't want to eat.
Yeah.
And I never ate cold food, and I never ate rewarmed food
Okay.
growing up. So I mean, I don't know what. I mean, I refuse to heat up my own
Yeah.
food. And I refuse to eat leftovers. I know I eat leftovers because people don't tell me they're leftovers.
And here we go with our first world problems.
So here's what I learned about myself. Okay, I'm a diva. I am not cut out anymore to run real dentistry. Okay, I don't consider what I do anymore real dentistry. It's
general
not a-
general dentistry.
Yeah,
You're not cut out for the day of a general.
not 2 weeks straight up.
I'm pretty sure people work 52 weeks straight.
No, man, there's something not right with them. No, I'm not cut out for it. I have.
Do you think the time off on COVID kind of got you out of dentistry shape? I heard a lot of people say that. Do you think you were out of it before that?
No, I think
It's just different.
I am mentally out of general dentistry shape. I'm not physically. I'm not in shape. Okay, but I'm not physically.
We're working on the shape.
I'm physically able to work. I mean, work. How about this? Working is not my problem. Doing the work is not my problem. It is dealing with 2 hygienists, 2+ hygienists, limited exams,
Column of overflow.
sleep column, ortho
Ortho.
column, and the dentist column. It was too much. And it's plain and simple. It's too much. It's unreasonable.
You're very used to your one column of dentistry.
Yeah. So my normal day-to-day workflow is, so when I'm in the office, we have 3 hygienists, okay? And I'll typically check one of the hygienists, and I'll do my column, and I'll do my sleep follow-up, and I'll do my ortho follow-ups. So that's my typical day when I'm working. And so what that allows me to do is it allows me to get to do my dentistry. I sit down, I do it, and I typically don't have to get up in the middle of my procedure. I get up when I'm done. So when I do my surgical cases or whatever it is, and when I say surgical case, that's an extraction graft or that's an implant or sometimes a little bit more complicated stuff. But I don't have to worry about like, oh man, do I got to go check 2 hygienists or whatever it is, and so I was already tired. I was already tired from the sedation week, training week.
Right. It was not the time. It was not the week to.
No, it wasn't necessarily the week. And then, yeah, it wasn't the week. It started off not the week, but in the beginning, I was like, it's probably a few days. It's no big deal.
Right.
Especially when his first COVID test came back negative. And I was like, all right, it's going to be fine. And then I think frankly speaking, I think Fiza did it to punish me. Yeah,
He wants you to see a week, 2 weeks in his life when
that's
you're
not,
gone.
That's not in his life because he doesn't do the ortho column or the sleep column. And yeah, I mean.
So you learned about this over these 2 weeks. You learned that you're out of general dentistry shape.
Mentally.
You learned you're out of shape.
Physically.
Just out of shape.
I would come.
And it didn't need this 2 weeks to learn that.
No, because
actually, you were getting in shape. We were doing really good. You were doing really good at F45.
Yeah, dude, I was going 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
I mean, I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
I finally said I'll do the cardio classes too.
I know.
I mean, like on my own, I was like, all right, we'll go to
Yeah.
those. I was like, all right.
I was like, on a Monday? You want to go on a Monday? Okay. And then you learned you were a diva.
Yeah, I'm a diva.
Yeah.
Maybe
a little dramatic?
100%. I'm drama queen.
Okay.
I'm a drama king.
All right.
Drama
Everybody
king.
get this.
I'm a drama king.
No
question
I'm the
about
dramatic
it.
one.
Yeah, you're drama. You're pure drama. I'm a drama king. Okay. But no. I mean, I lost my mood and temper at least once a day. And listen, it's a confluence of events. So Fiza was gone. So guess who took his computer in my office? Michelle did.
Yeah.
So every time I'd go back to my office to get a break, there would be Megan and Michelle sitting in there. I'm like, God, and they'd ask me questions.
I know.
And and there are times I just wanted to break. I just wanted to
I know. That
Like,
door would be closed. I would see that door closed, and I would be like, is there a meeting going on? I just want to say hey.
And then I go in there with the mindset like, okay, I got to do this lab slip. I got to do this lab slip. Got to do this lab slip. And I sit down and hey, I got a quick question. I'm like, oh, what did I come in here to do? And
that's how I feel every day at the office. Hey, Meredith, we're out of toilet paper. Hey, Meredith, something's leaking. So I'm like, oh, I got a text message. Somebody asking me if we had something to dust the blinds. I was like, I don't know. I guarantee
don't we have cleaners?
I actually have a job, and I guarantee you my job is more important than finding a duster.
Speaking of which, my septic tank thing is buzzing again. Dude, what is going on with that? My life is falling apart.
All right, Drama King. So you learned this stuff about yourself.
Yes.
What did you learn about your practice, most importantly?
Well.
So let's go back a little bit. You usually are in the office 3 days a week.
15 hours a week.
Over 3 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
10
from
to
10 to
4.
4.
With a lunch.
We got to make sure Big Boy eats.
No, but listen, look, I'm joking about it.
But you've built it to that.
No, right. And so let's get serious for a moment here, okay? I joke about the fact that I'm only there 15 hours a week. But frankly speaking, I've earned that right because I've worked my ass off for 20 years, and I'm doing the production of half the office.
Right.
In those hours. In those 15 to 20, because I end up coming a little bit more, 15 to 20 hours a week. And I've put my time in, I put the effort in, I've taken the risk, I've invested in the technology, I've invested in the team members. I've done all those things.
Right.
So frankly speaking, I think I deserve all the luxuries I have dentally in life. And so to get thrown into this mix, I wasn't prepared for it.
Right.
And again, I didn't mind the quote unquote long days.
Right. A normal day
from 7 o'clock to 4 o'clock, which but we ended up staying late. I ended up working through lunch almost every day, which again, not a big deal. But what I was most I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the
what you thought was running when you weren't there.
How I thought it was running.
Yeah.
So I want to be clear because I know some of our team members listen, okay? We have a very good dental team.
Amazing.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. They're phenomenal people. They are smart. They are at a very high level. Every single one of them. Okay. Very high level. Okay. So I'm nitpicking. Mm-hmm. But my problem in life in general is that I can't accept less than excellence.
I was going to say your expectations.
Yeah, I can't do it. Dude, we had our best month in a long time.
Yeah.
We had a great month in September, and despite all the good stuff, I can't stop focusing on what's not right by my standards, and I'm fixated on it. And I think one of the benefits of me working 15 hours a week and still taking a week off every month on top of that is that out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
And so many of the things that I had implemented into the practice over the first 15 years weren't in place anymore. And that's a direct fault on me. Mm-hmm. Okay, that is not a fault of anybody else. For the first 15 years of my practice, I was very heavily involved in everything. And then the last 5 years, I've kind of scooted out a little bit and led things to other people. And when they had suggestions, oh, that sounds great. And I would abdicate a little bit, not delegate. And it's showing itself now. And it's not the fault of any of my team members, okay? There are some things that are their fault, okay? No question about it. But though, in the scheme of things, those are mistakes that happen. Mm-hmm. Just bottom line, they happen. And I am, generally speaking, nitpicking on a few things. Let me give you an example, okay? Because somebody probably think like, what is he talking about, okay? Just these are the little things that this should drive me nuts. So number one, I'm gone next week, correct?
Right. Yeah.
By the way, how long am I gone next week for? How long has that been on the schedule that I'm out that next week? 6
months at least. Since last year, we know that week, but
it's
been on the schedule.
We knew the
Okay.
weekend I was gone, but
So it's been on the schedule since August.
okay. So at least 2 months.
At least.
There's still my patients
Right.
on the schedule for next week. Right.
Yeah.
So that's one issue, right?
Right.
And then yesterday, which is 3 days out from next week, Whitney comes to me and goes, there's so-and-so's on the schedule for next week. I know we need to move them, but there's nothing attached to the schedule. And then there's nothing treatment planned in the chart.
So it's just patient.
But it's a 2.5 hour block.
Oh.
But it's written in the notes what we're supposed to do. So I'm supposed to do 2 implants and a crown.
Right. So that
2
would mean
implants and a crown.
no finances are set up or anything.
Let's
if
pretend the
nothing's put on
patient's prepaid.
Yeah.
Let's just pretend. Okay. But basically, let the finance are taken care of.
Yeah.
The notes say what I'm supposed to do. The appointment has it written in there, but it's not treatment planned in the chart, and it's not attached
Services,
to the schedule.
yeah.
Okay. So that means in the hygiene exam, and I remember exactly who I did this with. The hygiene exam, I remember exactly what I said. Hey, I need 2.5 hours for this, or 2 hours, or whatever it is, and blah blah blah. I know that person just plain and simple forgot to treatment plan it, and then somebody I don't know who made the appointment, and didn't attach the services, and now I know why, because they're not treatment planned.
Yeah. They weren't there.
But that didn't ring a bell for them.
Yeah.
And then Liz had taken my implant records for me, so she took the 3D and the CEREC scan, and then nobody wrote it on my implant board that I needed to make a guide.
So it wasn't. No guide is making it.
No implants.
You're not even going to be here, so it doesn't matter.
And so I'm like, so wait a minute. This is like a cluster F, right? It's just one example, okay?
Yeah.
And so I'm like thinking to myself, wait a minute. 3 people touched this patient.
Right. Almost like too many hands in the pot.
That's probably what it is, right?
Yeah.
A hygienist touched the patient. Liz touched the patient, and my assistant is supposed to know which cases we have for at least
Right.
a week or 2 in advance.
An implant
so that we that way we have the guides and the parts and everything. Parts aren't an issue. We have so much stuff, right? But we need a guide. And so I'm like, so,
But in a normal world, you would need to order the parts and pieces.
yeah. So I'm like, so if I happen not to be leaving next week,
You would have a 2.5 hour opening.
no, I would have like 2 days.
Right. To rush and get it all made.
Right, and by the way, I got it done that
Chaos.
day. I went
Yeah.
ahead and said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get it done, because I know life's going to get in the way. I've got
Right.
35 minutes. I've got 30 minutes now to get it done, which, by the way, that shows you where technology and our level of integration with this stuff is. And if you're not at that level, consider some of our training programs
Yeah.
at 3D Dentist. I got to build that commercial in. So anyway, it drove me nuts. Okay, and
Yeah.
so again, it's not an indictment of my team members; it's an indictment of myself. Okay, that I'm
And
not
the system's falling.
that
kind of
I'm
through the
not
cracks.
holding people accountable on the day. I'm holding people. It's amazing. I hold people accountable for some things, and then I let these things slide until they get in the way, and then trust me, I'm holding everybody.
Yeah.
Now the whiteboards are full
Yeah.
in my room. So now I know. Because now I'm getting back into control freak mode, and I'm like, I need to know what cases are coming up. I need to know for the next month, next 2 months, what's coming up, blah 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 blah. And so that's a good. Did I beat that horse to death?
Yeah. You learned that your practice, the systems were
Yeah, and again,
systems you had put into place many years ago.
Yeah.
Were floating by for
Yeah.
the time being, and being there more.
Well, it's interesting. The business systems were doing pretty well because I had been focusing on those. But then some of the clinical workflow, what I didn't say that I have bailed it out every single time without knowing it, because, everything
Just kind of goes.
Well, everything worked out because
Right.
hey, I got plenty of time. I'm only working 15 to 20 hours a
Right.
week. I've got, an hour for lunch. I've got some extra time after work.
Oh,
I'm
we
able
need to get a patient, and I could do it. I could do it
on
Thursday.
All these things happen. But
Right.
suddenly,
When you're working Monday through Friday, 7 to 4, there is no squeezing an extra person in.
right.
and-
None of that stuff. So that ability to bail things out reared its ugly head.
Yeah.
And so that shows me something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So look, it's okay. It's part of, Number one, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed by it. I'm embarrassed that I have to mention it. But I also know that we're all know better.
Yeah.
Okay, that this happens in all of our practices. And those of us that don't think it happens in our practice, you're lying to yourself. You just don't know it's happening.
Yeah.
Just like I didn't know that was happening.
Right.
So so that the good news is the team took it pretty well. And then I lost my temper this morning at morning meeting, and I used the F-bomb, and multiple times, but that had to do with another breakdown. So Meredith, I don't know if you know this answer, but let's see.
Okay.
If you call the office and make an appointment, there's 2 pieces of information a team member needs to give to the patient. What would those 2 pieces of information be?
That they need to give to the patient, or that they need to get from the patient?
No, give to the patient. How long they're going to be here, what to expect at their visit, and how much the visit costs.
Right.
Okay, so this morning now I'm on a warpath, right? So this morning we have it's a limited exam on, and I see the patient, and there's a note on it, and I go, so did we tell this patient how long they're going to be here and what to expect for today's visit? No. Did we tell the patient how much a limited exam and x-ray costs? Well, they have insurance. What if the insurance is expired or doesn't work? Mm-hmm. Does the patient know that there's a fee associated with this? No. And so then I got one little thing.
Then it's another one of these rants, right?
Yeah, basically that's what happened. I said, morning meeting's done. That's literally
Everybody, to your spots.
No. I said, morning meeting's done. I'm going to talk now.
Oh, okay.
And then I just talked. And I love my team.
Of course, yeah.
No, I really do.
No,
I mean, I know sometimes they feel like I don't, or I'm hard on them, but I love them. I love all of them. They work hard. I'd like them to work a little smarter sometimes, but they work hard. They're dedicated. They're there. And so I don't want to get too hard on them. I'm really mad at myself, to be quite honest with you.
Well, being who you are and what you preach, practicing what you preach with your procedure limitations and how you don't do fillings and
another thing. I'm sorry.
So
wait, no, wait. Another thing. So Kelsey just started September 4th or something, right?
No, 7th. Yeah, 4th. She came to the beach.
Yeah, she came to our team retreat.
We brought her to the team retreat the first day. She rode down to the beach with me on her first day.
So I looked at her this morning, and she's talking to me afterwards.
And she's still here. Let's add that.
Yeah. So I think she's trying to calm me down or get a better understanding what's going on. And Kelsey's a practice administrator, office manager, whatever the hell you want to call him. So I look at her, and Kelsey, I go to her. I say, I'm disappointed in you too. I go, Kelsey, because I'm supposed to be off the month of October, correct?
Right. Except for Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, I'm allowed to work Wednesday each week in the month of October, and I'm gone next week. And I go, Kelsey, how long have you known I'm supposed to be out of town for the month of October? And she goes, the day I started, I was told. I go, then why do we still have 3 hygiene days?
Right, because in the state of North Carolina, you can only have 2 hygiene.
I'm like, why do we have 3 hygienists scheduled some of these days? Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Get rid of those. We got to figure it out. And I said, now we're doing it last minute. I mean, it's October 1st.
Right.
So anyway, but that's okay. Kelsey's phenomenal. She has a great demeanor. Mm-hmm. I'm super excited to have her on board. Yeah, I ask her every day, do you think I'm crazy, and do you wish you didn't take this job?
You asked her today if she was sleepy, if working here has made her sleepy. You're like, I think we work really hard here. Everybody's really sleepy. We all have sleep apnea. Okay, I don't have sleep apnea, so let me just add that.
Have you been? When's the last time you tested yourself?
Like last year, me and Taylor did it together.
Last year.
He was a 29 and I was a 0.
Did we make him a device?
No.
Why?
Because he needs to get his tonsils out.
Still, he needs a device.
I know. Okay, so.
Oh my God, more failures.
So, we were talking about your procedure limitations. How did you do? Because technically Thursdays and Fridays you're not scheduled.
And 7 to 10, I'm not scheduled.
Right. So you were seeing Dr. Fiza's patients. But how did you feel about that?
No, I was there to cover the entire office. And so what I told them was Megan, Megan, how much pushback she gave me. She's like, so this patient's been rescheduled twice. I'm like, what do they need? They need a quadrant films. They're not doing it. Just not doing it. I said, just pretend I don't. I said, what would you do if I literally didn't know how to do films?
Yeah.
They said,
people can't do root canals.
Yeah. Like what would you do? They were like, yeah, we wouldn't see the patient. I'm like, well, just pretend I don't know how. And she, and Megan, God bless her and love her. Okay.
Yeah.
Love Megan.
She's
right?
like, you do know how. I know you know how.
Right. But I had to stick to my guns.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I said yes to one, that
In 6 weeks, you'd still be seeing these fillings,
I'd
but they
still
were
be
from those 2 weeks.
I know. And so you know what? Beautiful. Day one, I said, I'm not doing fillings. They didn't ask me again.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if I said yes, I would have been doing lots of fillings.
Yeah.
So whatever.
But they add extra patients in?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Because you were trying to cover some of
yeah,
his
of course.
patients.
Look, there were patients that were in pain that needed
Right.
things done.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I did some fillings. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I didn't do quadrants
We're
of
kind
fillings.
of joking about the fillings.
No,
but
I'm
kind
not.
of
I mean, I'm not doing quadrants of fillings. If the patient had one or two fillings, I
Yeah.
did it.
Right.
But if they try to give me a patient that like MODO, MODDO, I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why he's doing that.
Yeah.
Like, why are we treatment planning that? So,
How did this affect outside of dentistry? Your
oh,
life?
my whole life fell apart. Mm-hmm. I'm a very regimented
We
person.
missed a podcast, first of all.
Yeah, which really upset me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not. This 2 weeks didn't cause. We missed the podcast because we weren't prepared. Months.
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks. Like
We
4
actually
weeks
have
ago.
them now. We're good.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. We missed an episode.
Yeah.
Which drives me nuts. And then I was in a groove going to the gym. We were going every 3-4 times a week at 7 in
Yeah.
the morning for like a legit workout, not my 20-minute walk,
Right.
20-minute mile walk.
Yeah. Our pace was 20 minutes. No, we got into the 19s, okay?
I think we got down to 1930 once.
And then I send him a picture. I'm walking the next day. I'm 16-minute mile. He's like, what? How do you do that? I'm like, I'm walking.
And then so I tried it. I was like, I can't keep it up. I can't keep it
Even
up.
when your brother came to visit, he was like, I can't walk this slow.
I know, and he's got a bum leg. God.
He was lapping us in the cul-de-sacs.
So it's first world problem.
Exhausting, right?
No, I don't know what to do.
I'll say this. I brought you a coffee one time, and I think you texted me after the first week, hey, are you okay? I haven't really seen you. And I was like, yeah, I just tried not to add to your plate. I would just slip food in and leave. And I think one time I left a coffee and came back 30 minutes later, and I was like, oh, I brought you a coffee. And another girl's like, yeah, it was a venti iced coffee. And you drink it in one sip.
I just took the straw and it's like a Coke to me.
That's not how that works.
So,
That was the one day I needed you to work with me after work. So I wanted to make sure you were caffeinated.
But listen, again, I want to give some perspective to all
Yeah.
of this. This is the yeah, but moment. Look, I'm trying to balance two businesses.
Right.
I'm trying to balance my dental practice, 3D dentist. So when I say I work 15 to 20 hours, that's my clinical time.
Yeah. Right.
Then there's the time actually, as the owner of the business. And then there's the time where I'm running 3D, which is, we're back up and running and it takes time. And we've got live patient programs. So I'm, planning out things. We've got online programs that I'm, trying to get the courses up. And we've just got a lot going on.
Right. And I mean, we do have a coaching program starting in January, but think about the time you spend, all the people. I mean, you get back to everyone, emails, Facebook messages, Instagrams, the mentorship, the calls. I mean, constantly people are just bouncing ideas. Even if you're not, giving them advice, they're just bouncing ideas off of you constantly. And the time you spend doing that, you don't even realize it. Because most of them become your friends, but
and then Megan, I love Megan. Okay,
Right.
I think she does this to push my buttons. So last Friday we had our live stream, right?
Right.
She's like, so what time is your class start? I'm like 9:00. She goes, so can you see a follow up at 8:00? I'm like, no, the live stream's at my house. She goes, but yeah, it's a 15-minute drive.
yeah.
I'm like, no.
But we had to set it all.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then what was it last Thursday? I had to record some stuff in the afternoon. I saw patients until 1, recorded a few things, and then went back and saw a patient at 5. So anyway, so how did it affect my life? Number one, I didn't get to go to the gym, okay, which number one is not good for my health. Number two,
And I think mental clarity is
it cranks me up. Like not going to the gym, boy, I
Yeah.
was cranky and more tired. And then it affected my family life. I literally came home and I would hit the couch about 5:30, and then I literally would. I think I'd be sleeping by 7 o'clock, and I'd wake up at 11 o'clock, and I'm drooling on the couch, and I'm like, "Where is everybody?" And then I'm mad at my family. I literally mad at Mona. I'm like, "Why did you let me sleep on the couch? Like, why did you?" Because it's uncomfortable. And I don't have my sleep device, and then my throat hurts, and I got reflux, and then I wake up crabby in the morning because I'm not used to waking up at 5 in the morning and getting out of bed to get ready, because it takes me an hour to get ready, because I got to spend 30 to 40 minutes doing computer work, emailing, and doing all of that. So I just got to get my inbox clean. And it was tough.
But
again, first world problems.
Right. Before we wrap up this rant of T-Bone's life, did you get any good berries?
You know what? I did not have a single moment to get ice cream.
That is amazing. See, look what happens when you stay busy.
No, it's because I fell asleep.
Yeah, that's good. If you sleep, you can't
How
eat
did
ice
I
cream.
go 2 weeks without eating ice cream?
I know. That's good. I'm sure you guys had it in Lexington. You and
Lexington.
JP?
Yeah, that's 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, but we had ice cream almost every day there.
I'm sure.
If you're in Lexington, you need to go to Crank and Barrel or Crank Boom. It's an ice cream place. It's so good. So good.
All right. Well, what are some other good news? Let's
there
talk
is
good stuff
good news.
in the last 2 weeks.
Okay, the good news is I made a decision to go out of network with MetLife completely as an office. Mm-hmm. So for those of you that have been with the podcast for years, you know that 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I personally dropped MetLife as a MetLife in-network provider, but kept the practice in as an in-network provider. But we signed, and mailed. Sealed and mailed. I licked it and
gave him a little extra spit.
Yes.
COVID free.
Well, by the time it gets there, it'll be COVID free.
I know. I feel like we shouldn't be licking things anymore nowadays.
Yeah,
you can't blow out candles
that wouldn't be good. So
and then eat the cake, although you would probably risk COVID for the cake.
So I sent the letter saying that our practice is going to be out of MetLife as an in-network provider. So that's good news. Mm-hmm. And the good news also is that the team has accepted the challenge because they want to get back to the way it was, because I think they don't like the relative look, it's all relative.
Right.
Like,
we're used to very streamlined.
I bet you money that if somebody else came to our office and spent a day with us any of these last 2 weeks, they would be like, God, your office is well. I promise you they would say your office is well.
So one thing you said to me when I worked in the office after a couple years, you said, this is my first job out of college. I was an intern. You were like, you have to go work somewhere else. Yeah. And I was like, are you firing me? And you're like, no, but you have to go work somewhere else. Where do you want to go? I was like, I don't want to go anywhere else. You're like, yeah, but you need to see something else because this is not normal.
Yeah.
Everything was so streamlined.
Well, again, generally speaking, but I am just
nitpicking.
God, at the team meeting this morning, I lost my temper and I said, listen, I demand excellence. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 ways to deal with this. One, you figure out a way for me not to have to be here. Mm-hmm. Or you figure out a way for you not to be here.
To be excellent. or you be excellent.
Or just be excellent. I mean, and so I said that those are the choices we got.
So what did they say? They were going to figure out how not to get you there. Were
they texting? Really say anything.
So the funny thing is Dr. Fiza came back today at noon. So were they texting him saying, please come back? We're begging you?
No, I don't know.
No,
Mona took care of that because I need to get some stuff done.
Yeah.
And then I'm leaving for Florida tomorrow. So, yeah. So
yeah, well, that's another good thing is we had a live stream of your next course.
Yeah, so for those of you that want to implement case acceptance and understand the process that we're using in our practice and how as a PPO environment. I got some other bad news.
Hold on, let's finish this. So this will be available as an on-demand course very soon, maybe in a month or so.
Probably by the time this comes out, you should be able to get it. If not, just pay for it in advance. I need the money.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't want to go to work anymore.
More bad news. But then we're going to have good news.
It's bad/good news.
Okay.
So we had a patient come in, wanted a second opinion that bought the treatment plan with them. Mm-hmm. And I typically don't like to look at the treatment plan because I don't want it to bias me in terms of diagnosis, right? But I looked at the treatment plan, and I didn't care about what the
What they
procedures
needed.
are. I looked at the fees, and I was like, man, I am cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap. Not even like low. I'm not even like on
10%, 20%. You're
I'm
like
cheap.
way down. Yeah.
cheap. I'm like, yeah.
And
yeah.
in the same area too.
The dude down the street from me.
Yeah.
And I have everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have the best of the best
Yeah.
equipment, best technology, best team
People,
members,
yeah.
best facility. I don't want to say best,
Location.
great. We have
Yeah.
very good everything, good materials and everything. And look, I make a very good living, an unbelievable living. So, but I also want to get paid what I'm worth.
Right.
I want people to value what I'm doing. So another piece of good news is we decided to raise our fees.
Right.
And I just and Kelsey I put Kelsey in charge of it, and she said, "Well, when you want to sit down," I said, "Just pick the number, at least 80% or more, and put it in. I don't care anymore. I'm going to because every time you ask me, like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't
Yeah.
charge. Just keep me out of it. Just put the
Yeah.
number in, what you think we're worth, put it in there, and I promise you, because here's what was happening: we were having insurance companies accept our fee."
Yeah.
Like
with new patient exams.
My fee was
Yeah.
within their UCR.
Yeah.
So that's bad news, isn't it?
I had noticed that
Yeah.
over a year ago.
Yeah. So we all have problems.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing. It just means that I'm willing to speak to them. And I think that's what makes our coaching programs, the mastermind and the coaching program that I'm doing, I think that's what makes them real is that I have dealt with. It's one thing to have somebody coach you that quote unquote has never really or has everything perfect because this is
Right.
impossible.
Yeah.
And then it's another thing to get coaching from somebody who's never lived it.
Right.
You know, I've lived it, I'm living it, and I will live it. And because I'm just not going to stop. I think I want to give it 5 to 10 more years in dentistry, and
But not as a solo doctor
no
practice.
chance, zero chance. For my dental students listening, and for my young dentists early in practice listening, you should not practice dentistry alone. Absolutely not. We are living in a time where no one, including my generation dentists, no one should be practicing dentistry alone in 2020 and beyond. No one. And there's no reason to. There's just no reason to. But the beauty of dentistry is make it what you want, man.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I make a great living working 15 to 20 hours a week in the chair. And I can't really complain too much, but I just spent how much ever time this was complaining. about this. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. I hope I made your drive to or from work or your walk. Hopefully you're doing better
I
than a
was going to
20-minute
say
walk.
your stair stepping. I mean, I'm hoping they were doing more than a walk.
I hope that, well, listen, movement is important.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for your support. And thank you for your support of 3D Dentists. If you're looking for great education, you love our podcast, you want to support what we do, you want to come hang out.
We can go on a walk. We
3D
can go get ice
dentists.
cream.
Yeah, listen, man.
When you guys come visit for the courses, we'll go walking.
You can ask Meredith for the VIP
Yeah.
experience where you get to stay at the in the 3D dorm. No.
That's not an option, but you can go walking and get ice cream with us.
Everybody have a great day. We'll see you next week.
Thanks so much for listening to T-Bone Speaks with Dr. Tarun Agarwal. Remember to keep striving for excellence, and we'll catch you on the next episode.